Most people never notice that the 1998 Jefferson Nickel, the 1941 Jefferson Nickel, and the 1946 Jefferson Nickel can shoot up in value in the 2025 USA market. And the shocking part is that rare strikes, hidden mint errors, and clean, sharp details are turning these simple 5-cent coins into real money. So check your nickels, because one small coin could be worth far more than you think in today's USA dollar market. 1941 Jefferson Nickel. Something feels different the first time you hold an old coin in your hand. You start to wonder where it has been, who touched it, and what life looked like in the year it was made. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel is one of those coins that instantly transports you into another time. A simple 5-cent piece that survived war years, metal shortages, minting struggles, and millions of pockets across America. Today this coin might appear ordinary, but its hidden varieties, errors, and high-grade survivors can turn an everyday nickel into a surprisingly valuable collector treasure. The year 1941 was a turning point in American history. The nation was on the edge of entering World War II, and the United States Mint was preparing for metal shortages that soon would change coin compositions across the country. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel still used the original metal mix of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The coin weighed 5 grams and measured 21.2 millimeters in diameter. It carried the classic design by Felix Schlag featuring the profile of Thomas Jefferson, on the front-facing left strong, calm, and determined. On the reverse stood Monticello, his historic home with its steps, pillars, dome, and surrounding structure all captured in precise detail. The purpose of the 1941 issue was simply to maintain circulation, but in reality, this coin marks the final era before wartime silver nickels. In the following year, the composition would change to include silver due to the war effort, but the 1941 nickel remained the last full copper-nickel alloy before that dramatic shift. Millions were minted across 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each mint created coins with slightly different die qualities, strike strength, and overall appearance, leading to a wide range of collectible varieties today. Even though the coin was made in large quantities, many pieces show weak strikes, especially on the steps of Monticello. Those steps are the most important feature for collectors. A full strong staircase is extremely rare for this year. Many coins show mushy blending and incomplete lines caused by worn dies and high-speed production. That is why any 1941 nickel with sharp full steps instantly becomes a much more desirable example. Now let us move into the world of errors and varieties. Errors are some of the most valuable features a collector can find on a 1941 nickel. Off-center strikes occur when the planchet is not perfectly aligned, leading to a design that appears shifted. The more dramatic the shift, the more collectible the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible. Die cracks appear like raised lines across Jefferson's face, or Monticello caused by aging dies fracturing. Cuds can appear when broken die sections leave large raised blobs along the rim. Another known collectible variety is doubling. Some 1941 nickels exhibit minor doubling on the date, or on the letters of Liberty or Monticello. These double die varieties can sell for premium prices if found in high grade. There are also repunched mint mark varieties on the 1941D and 1941S issues, where the mint mark was struck more than once, creating overlapping shapes visible under magnification. Collectors love these old mint mark varieties because they show the human side of the minting process, the imperfections that slipped into circulation unnoticed for decades. Grading is where the 1941 nickel truly separates into common and valuable pieces. A heavily worn coin might be graded poor or fair, where Jefferson's face is flat and Monticello is barely visible. Good and very good grades show basic outlines, while fine and very fine grades start to show more facial detail and window structure on Monticello. Extra fine has sharper features and less wear. About uncirculated shows only tiny touches of wear at the high points. Mint state pieces show full original luster, no circulation wear, and are further divided from MS60 to MS70. Higher numbers mean fewer marks, brighter shine, and stronger details. Full steps examples are the elite category, where the stairs are crisp with no breaks. These examples can command impressive premiums. In the 2025 market, most circulated 1941 nickels remain common. A heavily worn one might sell for 10 to 50 cents. A nicer circulated example can bring $1 to $3. Extra fine pieces sell around $3 to $6. About uncirculated coins can reach $5 to $15 depending on eye appeal. Mint state examples begin climbing. MS60 to MS63 coins can sell from $10 to $20. MS64 and MS65 can reach $20 to $50. MS66 pieces can jump to $100 or more, especially from the Denver and San Francisco mints. Full steps examples from any mint bring strong premiums. A 1941 full steps nickel in high grade can sell anywhere from $100 to several $100s depending on quality, rarity, and demand. Dramatic errors can range from $15 to several $100s, depending on how extreme and visually impressive the error is. Finding the 1941 nickel today is easier than you think. Many appear in old coin albums, jars, estate boxes, and inherited collections. Searching through mixed nickel rolls can also produce surprisingly high-grade survivors, because older nickels are sometimes forgotten in storage for decades. When searching for valuable examples, look closely at Monticello S steps, Jefferson S cheek, and jaw the rims and fields and any unusual doubling or cracks. The smallest details can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure worth grading and collecting. The total mintage for the 1941 nickel was very large, but high-grade survivors are scarce. Most pieces circulated for decades, collecting scratches, dings, and heavy wear. The number of untouched, well-preserved examples is tiny compared to the hundreds of millions that once existed. That imbalance is exactly why premium nickels from this year, especially full steps or error pieces, are so valuable and so heavily hunted by collectors today. One shocking fact about the 1941 nickel is that some early dies used in that year created coins with unusually sharp detail, especially from the Philadelphia Mint. Another fascinating detail is that some 1941 nickels slipped into circulation so early and so quickly that they show unusual metal characteristics from rushed wartime-era production. These quirks make each coin unique, each one holding a story of a nation preparing for global conflict and economic change. The 1941 Jefferson Nickel reminds us how even a small, everyday coin can become a window into history. It carries the final breath of pre-war coinage before America shifted into wartime metal. It carries eras, secrets, and varieties that collectors still chase decades later. And it carries value not just in money, but in the story it tells. 1946 Jefferson Nickel. Something unusual happens the moment you pick up a 1946 Jefferson Nickel. It feels older, heavier, and more meaningful than a modern 5-cent piece. It carries a quiet story of a nation recovering from World War II, a story of metal shortages, a story of minting technology changing, and a story of how one simple coin can become a key piece of American history. The 1946 nickel may look ordinary at first glance, but inside it hides surprising value, rare varieties, unexpected errors, and a level of collectible potential that most people overlook completely. The year 1946 was a year of change. The United States had just emerged from the war, and the mint was shifting back from wartime silver nickels to the original copper-nickel alloy. During the war, nickels contained silver because nickel metal was needed for military production. But in 1946, the composition returned to normal. The coin was made using 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighed 5 grams and measured 21.2 millimeters across. This makes the 1946 nickel historically important because it marks the first full year after the Silver Series ended, creating a fresh beginning for the Jefferson Nickel design. The obverse features the classic profile of Thomas Jefferson facing left, created by sculptor Felix Schlag. The details of the cheek, the jaw, the hair, and the collar are essential when determining the grade, and therefore the value of the coin. The reverse shows Monticello with its dome windows, pillars, and the famous steps. These steps are one of the most important collecting points, because full steps examples are extremely rare and very valuable, especially for early post-war years like 1946. Mintage took place at 3 locations. Philadelphia produced the majority of coins and used no mint mark. Denver and San Francisco produced additional quantities, each marked with a small D or S, on the reverse beside Monticello. Even though millions were minted, surviving high-grade examples, with original luster-clean surfaces and strong detail, are surprisingly difficult to find. The mint reused dies and pushed them hard in 1946 to catch up after wartime production complications. This created weak strikes, soft steps, and sometimes uneven detail across the coin. Errors are a huge part of the excitement around this coin. A 1946 nickel can show off-center strikes, where part of the design drifts toward the rim, creating a dramatic shift. Die cracks can appear like raised lightning across Jefferson S face or Monticello S dome. Cuts happen when a broken die leaves a chunky raised area on the rim. There are also repunched mint mark varieties, especially on 1946D and 1946S, where the mint worker punched the mark more than once, creating overlapping shapes visible under magnification. These varieties can add significant premium if found in a mint state condition. Another collectible highlight is doubling. Some 1946 nickels show mild doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or on Monticello. These double die varieties are not extremely common, but when found in high grade they attract strong collector interest. Coins with unusual planchet flaws can also be valuable. Some planchets in 1946 show lamination errors, where the metal surface peels slightly, creating a unique texture and making the coin a rare mint anomaly. Now grading becomes the key dividing line between common and valuable. A heavily circulated 1946 nickel may show flattened hair-worn cheekbones, and a Monticello reduced to a soft outline. This is the lower grade range, including poor, fair, good, and very good. These grades are still collectible, but usually not valuable. Fine and very fine grades show better detail on Jefferson S hair and the windows of Monticello. Extra fine and about uncirculated grades show much sharper features with only small touches of wear. Mint state coins are where true value begins. MS60 to MS63 nickels have luster but may show small marks. MS64 and MS65 coins show sharp, clean surfaces, bright shimmer, and appealing eye quality. MS66 and higher are extremely scarce for this year, especially with full steps. Collectors pay major premiums for mint state 1946 nickels because so few survived without scratches, dings, wear, or dullness. In today's 2025 market, values vary across the grades. A heavily circulated example may bring around 10 to 50 cents. A nicer circulated coin might be worth $1 to $2. Extra fine pieces are around $3 to $6. About uncirculated examples often fall between $5 and $10, depending on quality. Mint state coins begin rising fast. MS60 to MS63 normally range from $8 to $20. MS64 can reach $25 to $40. MS65 pieces often bring $40 to $80. MS66 examples can go over $100, and sometimes much more depending on eye appeal and strike strength. If you find a true full steps example, the value jumps dramatically. Full steps coins can sell from $100 to several $100s, and in top grades even more. Errors from this year can range from $15 to several hundred, depending on the severity. A large off-center strike can easily bring strong premium. A big cud or a dramatic double strike can also reach high collector prices. A repunched mint mark variety in mint state can easily bring dozens of dollars or more. Finding the 1946 nickel today can be surprisingly possible. Look in old change jars, older family collections, estate boxes, antique shops, flea markets, and coin dealer junk bins. Roll searching is another strong method, because although rare, some older nickels still slip into circulation. The right example may be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge to notice its details. When examining the coin, look closely at Jefferson S cheek hair and collar. Study the rims for thickness, cracks, and unusual shapes. Check the Monticello steps for sharp, clear lines. Look for doubling using magnification. Inspect mint marks for repunching. Even the smallest detail can transform your coin from ordinary to impressive. One shocking fact about the 1946 nickel is how often high-grade examples were destroyed in the 1960s and 1970s, when coin collecting was not as popular. Many brilliant uncirculated rolls were spent or melted, leaving only a tiny fraction of pristine survivors today. Another surprising fact is that some San Francisco mint coins from this year show unusually weak strikes, making a sharply struck 1946 S nickel particularly valuable. The 1946 Jefferson Nickel is a reminder that even a simple everyday coin can carry history, identity, and surprising worth. It is a bridge between wartime silver nickels and the return to normal alloy. It represents a moment when America was rebuilding itself and returning to peace. This small 5-cent piece holds decades of stories, and in the hands of collectors today it continues to reveal secrets few people expect. 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel. Something strange happens when an ordinary coin ends up being worth far more than anyone expected. People see a simple 5-cent piece and walk past it without a second thought. But what if that tiny coin in your drawer or in your pocket right now could be hiding a surprising value? The 1998 D. Jefferson Nickel looks extremely common, but it hides a story of mistakes, production quirks, and rare high-grade survivors that today's collectors chase all across the United States. Welcome to the journey of a coin that looks simple, but carries mysteries that most people have never heard of. The 1998 D. Nickel was born in a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins every year to keep up with daily circulation. But the nickel itself carries a much deeper history that goes back decades. The Jefferson nickel design first appeared in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and since then it has become one of the most recognizable coins in American pockets. On the obverse, the portrait of Thomas Jefferson faces left, calm, serious, and iconic, created by sculptor Felix Schlag. On the reverse is Jefferson's home Monticello, a building that appears peaceful, but actually holds the key to identifying weak strikes, strong strikes, and rare high-grade examples of this coin. The 1998 D Mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility known for extremely high output. Millions of these coins were created using heavy presses that punched the design into a metal planchet made of copper and nickel. The coin has a weight of 5 grams, a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel with no silver at all. Yet even without silver, its value can rise based on condition, rarity, minting errors, and collector demand. Why was this coin made? The purpose was simple: to continue supplying the nation with circulating currency, but hidden inside the normal process were coins that did not come out as planned. Some dies wore out faster than expected, leading to weak strikes, especially on the steps of Monticello. Collectors today study those steps carefully because a fully struck staircase is extremely rare for this year and can transform an average coin into a surprisingly valuable one. Along the way, something else happened. The combination of aging dies, fast production speed, and repeated pressure created opportunities for strange errors. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is pushed to the edge, can turn a worthless nickel into a collectible item. Die cracks can run through Jefferson's portrait, making dramatic raised lines across the coin. Double-struck examples can show multiple images overlapping, as if the coin was stamped twice. These unusual pieces attract collectors who love coins that escape the minting system in unexpected ways. Another hidden treasure within this year is the full steps variety. For most 1998 nickels, the steps of Monticello are mushy, faded, and incomplete because the dies did not deliver enough pressure. A coin that shows sharp full steps is considered a premium rarity. Even the tiniest break, scratch, or weakness between the steps can disqualify it. That is why untouched, uncirculated pieces with strong steps can sell for incredible amounts compared to ordinary ones. Finding a 1998 D nickel with full steps in perfect grade is a challenge that collectors compare to finding a needle in a haystack. Grading is one of the most important steps in determining value. Coins move through stages from poor to fair, to about good to very good to fine to very fine to extra fine, to about uncirculated, and finally to mint state. Mint state runs from MS60 all the way to MS70. Each level represents stronger shine, sharper details, and fewer marks. A low-grade 1998 D nickel that has circulated heavily might remain worth only 5 cents, but a high-grade uncirculated example with clean surfaces can climb in price. A superb MS66 or MS67 is extremely tough to find because nickels pick up marks easily, and the design needs deep, clean surfaces for higher grades. In the 2025 market, a heavily circulated example sits around face value. Lightly circulated coins can sell from 10 cents to $1 depending on eye appeal. Uncirculated coins around MS60 to MS63 can sit between $2 and $10. Higher grades MS64 to MS65 can rise to $15 to $30. But when you reach MS66 or MS67, prices jump sharply. These top-grade examples can sell for $50, $100, or even more at auctions because collectors know how rare they are. Coins with full steps bring an even bigger premium and can easily climb into the hundreds depending on grade and demand. Dramatic errors such as major off-center strikes, double strikes, or bold die cracks can sell anywhere from $20 to several $100s depending on severity and visual appeal. Finding this coin is surprisingly easier than you may think. Old jars, drawers, bank rolls, coin collections, flea markets, and estate sales often hide 1998D nickels. The trick is not just finding the coin, but finding the right one. Look closely at the steps on the reverse. Check for doubling on the date or lettering. Search for die cracks or cuts. Study the surfaces for clean fields and sharp edges that could push the grade higher. A common coin becomes rare when condition and details align perfectly. The total mintage for the 1998D nickel is extremely high, reaching hundreds of millions. This massive number explains why the coin seems common everywhere. But survival in top grade is extremely low. Most coins went straight into circulation, gathering scratches, dents, and wear marks that instantly removed them from the high-grade category. This is why rare high-grade survivors exist only in small numbers, and why collectors chase them passionately even today. One of the shocking facts about the 1998D nickel is how such a simple everyday coin can hide such extreme grade rarity. Another surprising detail is that some 1998 planchets used during this period had slight metal inconsistencies, creating weak strikes or unusual textures which today add interest for specialists. Some collectors have found dramatic off-center pieces from this year, showing nearly blank areas that look nothing like a normal nickel, and yet came straight from the mint during high-speed production. The 1998D Jefferson Nickel proves that even a recent coin can carry stories of pressure, speed, machinery error, and unintentional rarity. Every mark, line, weakness, and shine tells a part of its history. Every surviving high-grade piece defied being spent in shops and gas stations, and managed to stay hidden untouched for over 2 decades. And now, as we reach the end of this chapter, get ready because the next coin story will be even more surprising. The next video will explore another modern coin that appears ordinary, but hides a value twist that collectors are going crazy about. Stay tuned because the next discovery might be sitting in your pocket right now. Thank you for watching the entire video. You can tell us in the comments what we should make the next video about.